Hello children, in this video once again I am here with a new topic for you all, and this is again one of the conventional sources of energy, that is natural gas. Okay, natural gas, and after that we are going to discuss about the hydroelectricity. Now before I proceed with this topic, I want to remind you to share the link of this video with your friends and classmates and all. And also do subscribe the channel, right? And as you subscribe the channel, also please press the bell icon so that you will get the informations regarding any video. If we are uploading in the channel, you will get the information regarding that. Now let's start with the topic natural gas. Now first of all, natural gas, in the beginning, if you remember, we have discussed about in the earlier video when we were talking about the petroleum. The petroleum gas is also called by the name natural gas. That means it is also found along with the petroleum oil. So natural gas, actually it occurs in association with mineral oil only. So an oil field will invariably have always natural gas also within it. And it is composed of 95% of methane with small amounts of propane and ethane also in it. And that's why it is a fossil fuel. Just like coal, petroleum, natural gas is also a fossil fuel. So as the natural gas is also a fossil fuel, it is also you can say a mineral, right? So as in the case of coal or petroleum we have seen, this is also present in limited quantity, right? That means it is exhaustible and non-renewable. And the natural gas deposits mostly accompany the oil deposits because it has been formed by decomposing remains of dead animals and plants which were buried under the different layers of earth. Now the gas used for running vehicles, you must have heard about CNG. Now what is CNG? Actually this is the gas used for running various vehicles and all. Okay, and it is called actually as compressed natural gas, CNG. And as the name suggests, it is also obtained from the natural gas only. Now another form of it is the LPG. LPG is again a common term. You must have heard about LPG also. At our homes generally when we get the cylinders, right? The gas cylinders for the kitchen purpose or for various purposes, we get it filled in the cylinders. That is actually LPG. And what is it now? It is called liquefied petroleum gas. It is also another form of the natural gas which we are using a lot. And the gas supplied for household use is actually this only, the LPG. And it is a byproduct obtained after refining the crude oil. The main component of LPG is butane. Butane, the other being propane and ethane. Three are there. Number one is butane, number two is propane, and number three is ethane. So these are the main components of LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas. Now one more thing you should be very clear here, that is this gas basically it has got a nature like it is just odorless, right? It is not having any smell. Okay, but you must have felt many times, you must have experienced also, whenever there is a little leakage at our homes, whenever suppose we are changing the cylinders, so at times it happens that a little leakage is there, okay, and we can easily feel the smell. Then from where the smell is coming? If it is odorless, from where the smell comes? It is basically one chemical is added with it, okay, a foul smelling gas is added with it. Its name is ethyl mercaptan, okay, ethyl mercaptan. This is a foul smelling gas which is actually added to the LPG. It is added to the liquefied petroleum gas. And what is the purpose behind it? The purpose is this only, that whenever there is a little leakage of it, we can easily deduct, right? It can easily be found. Suppose we can easily feel that there is some leakage and we can take precautions for that. So this is the main purpose behind adding this foul smelling gas with it. The another form of gas these days, actually it has become quite popular, that is actually the PNG. Now it is actually again just like the other gases which we are using. This is actually piped natural gas. It is LPG generally we use through the cylinders, right? It is supplied to the different places with the help of cylinders. It is, the cylinders are filled and it is supplied to the different areas. But now another type has taken its place now, and that is piped natural gas. At various homes now we are getting the supply with the help of pipe. Okay, the supply of gas is being given. Okay, now it is actually the LPG is now being replaced by this type, the piped natural gas. In several areas it has now replaced LPG. Okay, and what is the benefit in this? There is no such requirement is there to store it in cylinder and keep it somewhere. Okay, actually in this case you will find the supply of gas is continuously being given from the source, right? From the source it is supplied directly to the areas, different areas where it is in demand. So there is one step is now taken out from here, that means the storage of it and keeping it somewhere. So now directly from the source the connection is there with the area of demand, and it is going through the pipelines, and this gas which is supplied through the pipes in this manner, this is actually called as piped natural gas. Now when we say CNG, right, CNG these days you must have heard also about it at several places. Now several vehicles are being converted from petrol vehicles or diesel vehicles to CNG vehicles, right? The main purpose behind it is the less pollution which it is causing. Okay, because always the natural gas causes least pollution as compared to petrol, diesel or any other fuel. So any other fossil fuel especially. As compared to petrol or diesel, this is no doubt it's a better option when we talk about the pollution and all. So and in this field you will find the initiative has been taken by Delhi. Delhi has actually got almost all the buses which are working there, right? Actually Delhi has totally switched over to CNG, and you will find almost all the buses which are working, or the auto rickshaws which are actually running there, they all are on they are working on CNG. So this is how we can actually shift to some other better option as compared to the petrol or diesel. Regarding the distribution of natural gas, 2/3 of India's total natural gas comes from Mumbai High, and the rest of it is produced in Assam, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Tripura and all. So just two-third is actually coming from one source, that is the reserves what we have in the Mumbai High region. Rest all, 1/3 belongs to the rest of the area. What are the basic advantages of this source of energy? The first advantage of using natural gas is that it causes less damage to environment. Just I was telling you about this in the earlier part. It causes least pollution. Okay, as compared to any other fossil fuel, this is the safest source of energy. If we talk about the pollution, what is being caused by all the fossil fuels, right? So now the second point is it is easier to preserve. If we compare it with the coal, if we compare it with the petrol, diesel or the petroleum, crude oil, this natural gas can easily be transported from one place to the other with the help of pipelines, with the help of cylinders or the tankers and all, right? So this is another you can say advantage in this case. Then it can be piped directly into the houses. Okay, directly it is, as you have seen just now, that the piped natural gas which we were talking just now, these are directly being provided to the various houses. for cooking and heating purposes. So this is another advantage of it. It is a cleaner and cheaper fuel. It is much cheaper as compared to the other sources of energy. Then it is lighter than air, right? So what is it? Actually, why it is so important? Because whenever there is a leakage, it tends to dissipate when there is a leakage, right? So that is again one plus point. Then next is it is used for producing various elements like hydrogen, ammonia for the fertilizers, and some paints and plastics also. So all these we are getting from the natural gas. Now what about the other side of it, that is the disadvantages of natural gas? Whenever there is a leakage in the natural gas reserve, okay, where suppose we have got some reserve of natural gases, and there anytime if the leakage is there, that becomes very, very dangerous. Okay, so it's risky also, right? The risk factor is more involved in it, and the leakage can cause explosions, right? Or the fire incidents can happen as a result of it. So that is one disadvantage, a strong disadvantage of natural gas. Number two is that for use as a fuel, except methane, all other constituents of natural gas have to be extracted. So processing results in many byproducts like hydrocarbons, sulfur, etc. So that is again one disadvantage of it. Then next is it is non-renewable. Okay, it is non-renewable and it is present in limited quantity. It is exhaustible also. So these are again a strong disadvantages of it. Then the infrastructure for natural gas production, and the distribution of it is fairly expensive. It's not so easy task. So it needs a lot of investment for that purpose. So that is again one disadvantage of it. Then the natural gas, when used as a fuel in vehicles, generally it has been seen that the vehicles have less mileage than the petrol. The CNG vehicles give less mileage as compared to petrol vehicles. So this is again somewhere an important disadvantage in the case of the CNG or the natural gas overall, we can say. Now the next thing is hydropower. Hydropower, or we can say otherwise as the hydroelectricity. Now first of all, electricity which is generated from water is called by the name hydropower or hydroelectricity. Now hydroelectricity is produced when water falls from a great height, and the force with which it falls, that force is actually converted into electricity to generate electricity. That electricity is called as hydroelectricity. Now hydropower generation, how does it happen? Let's see the process, how it is done. The water flowing in a river, suppose, right, suppose a normal river is flowing. What we do is, the water is collected by constructing a big dam at one place. Suppose a big dam is constructed, and where the water of that river is stored, right? And then artificially, actually it is allowed to fall from a great height. Now this water, when it falls from a great height, the blades of turbines are located at the bottom of the dam. The blades of turbines are just placed at that place only where the water is falling. Now that force with which the water falls, okay, because it has got a lot of force with it, so that force of falling water actually helps the turbine to rotate, okay, and in this manner the generator actually works, and that produces the electricity. Okay, this is how the electricity is generated. Now when hydroelectric power is discussed in reference of India, India is one of the first countries to establish the hydroelectric power plants all over the world, right? India has been one of the leading nations which has started with it. And the power plant at Darjeeling, it was established in 1898. Right? Same way, if you talk about one more in south also, Shivnasamudra, was actually established in 1902, and it was one of the first in Asia, right? So these you can say hydroelectric projects were established long back. That's why hydroelectricity has been taken as one of the conventional sources of energy. Now, what are the basic advantages regarding the hydroelectricity? First of all, it is clean source of energy, right? One of the cleanest sources, causing no pollution at all. So it is, number one advantage is it is clean source of energy and non-polluting, right? It is, you can say otherwise, the eco-friendly. Number two is that it does not produce any greenhouse gas. As you have seen in the earlier video also, I had discussed about that. When we use coal, when we use petroleum, right? Even when we use natural gas also, though natural gas produces less amount of pollution, but still any of the fossil fuels when we use, some or the other pollutants are released out of it, okay, and several greenhouse gases are released. So ultimately the pollution along with global warming, both these are working a lot and it disturbs the environment. So here, what is the benefit? It does not produce any greenhouse gas. It does not produce any pollution. So this is again one very strong advantage in the case of hydroelectricity. Moreover, it is renewable source of energy. It is non-exhaustible, right? Moreover, it is renewable source of energy and it is inexhaustible, unlike the other fossil fuels, and economical, right? It is quite cheap also. It is sustainable. It will work for a long time. If once the dam has been constructed, one time actually, once in the beginning the investment is required, but after that it doesn't need any investment at all, right? Little maintenance is required, otherwise nothing, no cost at all. So it is economical also and sustainable, and cheaper electricity is provided, very cheap electricity is provided by this. Now when we talk about the other side of it, that is the disadvantages of hydroelectricity. One basic disadvantage of it is the cost of building dams for producing hydroelectricity is quite high. It's not an easy task again. So that is something very, you can say a lot of investment is required for that. Moreover, it's a very difficult task. Once it has been done, after that, very cheap electricity is produced by this. Okay, so that is the most difficult step of it. That is the cost of building dams, right? It is very high. Okay, that is one big advantage of it. Number two is that building a large dam alters the natural water table in that area, right? When we construct a large dam and water is stored in that, right? Reservoir is made for that purpose. So always that disturbs the natural water table within that area under the surface. That natural water table gets disturbed. Moreover, building a large dam can cause serious geological damage. Like whenever the reservoirs are made for this purpose, right? That may cause, because at times it happens that the reservoirs or the dams are constructed at a place where that may be a sensitive zone for seismic activities, right? It can be a fault, suppose. So that will actually work in that case. It will work as for triggering the earthquakes. So this is again something which we should always keep in mind. Then next is building of dams to produce electricity actually causes displacement of people from one place to the other. Suppose the construction of dam needs a large area, right? So if we need a large area, and for that purpose if any small township or a village is coming under that area, so we need to displace all those people who are living there from that place to some other place. So that is again something going against it. That means it's a strong disadvantage. Same thing we can think of, we can take in the case of suppose any forested area is there, right? Suppose we have to construct a dam or the multi-purpose project we have to construct there. So for dam or for reservoir purpose we need a large area. If it is not a settlement area, let it be. But if it is a forested area, then also what we are doing? For that purpose also we need to clear all the forested part, right? So again a harm to the environment. Moreover, we are not only clearing the forest, what about the wildlife which is there in that forested area? So again we are going to disturb the entire ecosystem in that part. So these are something which we should always keep in mind while when the construction of hydroelectricity project is going on anywhere. Okay, and these work as a strong disadvantage. Now regarding India, in India we are having several multi-purpose projects like Bhakra Nangal Dam, then Hirakud Dam, Sardar Sarovar project. All these are the different multi-purpose projects we are having in India at least, right? So we have to discuss about a few of these in here. Now when Bhakra Nangal Dam, suppose we have taken first, right? Now Bhakra Nangal Dam is actually, it is a project venture of three main states, right? And it is of Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan governments, right? It's a joint venture, and it actually comprises of the two dams. Okay, one is at Bhakra and another one is at Nangal. Together they actually are called as Bhakra Nangal project. Now Bhakra Nangal project includes the following: two dams at Bhakra and Nangal. There are two dams, one is at Bhakra, the other is at Nangal. Then Nangal Hydel plant, that is again a part of it, and the powerhouses which are there. And along with that, Bhakra canal system. A series of canals have been constructed, right, from these, and this is also a part of this entire project. Now this is, the largest dam in India. Okay, Bhakra Dam is the largest dam in India. It is the second highest dam in India also, 226 meters in height. And the reservoir of Bhakra Dam is called as Govind Sagar Lake. Okay, the reservoir of Bhakra Dam has been given the name Govind Sagar. Okay, Govind Sagar Lake. And it has got a storage capacity, of 9.3 billion cubic meters. That is the storage capacity of it. And it is the third largest water reservoir in India. The second dam under that is the Nangal Dam. And regarding Nangal Dam, it was actually constructed at Nangal only, right, on the Satluj river in Punjab. Okay, and it is almost 13 kilometers from the other dam, that is Bhakra Dam. Now Nangal Hydel channel is about 64 kilometers long and 44 kilometers deep, and it supplies water to Bhakra irrigation canals, which we had discussed just now in the earlier part. Now Bhakra canal system, actually what is it now? A series of canals have been constructed which provide irrigation water for over a large area, agricultural area, that is getting benefited by it. Now it provides irrigation facilities to almost 27.5 lakh hectares of land in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan states. Such a vast area is getting the benefit of this canal system. So what are the main purposes behind these projects? This project especially aims at providing water for irrigation, one thing. Second thing is that it is basically meant for generation of hydroelectricity. And number three is to prevent the flooding, flood chances in Satluj or Beas rivers. Now next is Hirakud Dam. Next multi-purpose project what we are discussing. Next multi-purpose project what we have to discuss here is Hirakud Dam. Okay, now Hirakud Dam is actually another very important dams in India. This is another very important dam, and it is built across Mahanadi river, right? And it is almost 15 kilometers from Sambalpur in Orissa. It is one of the first major multi-purpose river valley projects which was started after India's independence. And this dam was completed in 1953. The construction of it was completed in 1953, and the power generation, and along with other facilities what it started providing, that started in 1956, and the full potential was actually attained in 1966. One more important thing about this Hirakud dam is it is the longest major earthen dam in Asia, right? And it measures 25.8 kilometers, including dikes and stands across the Mahanadi River. The main dam has an overall length of 4.8 kilometers. Such a huge dam it is. And the dam is flanked by 21 kilometers of earthen dikes. Okay, and it also forms the largest artificial lake in Asia. Now it has got 2 observation towers also, right? And these have been named as Gandhi Minar and Nehru Minar. But basically, the observation towers are meant for keeping a check. Suppose anything is there which needs to be checked again and again. The observation tower, it has got 2 observation towers, and their names are, one is Gandhi Minar, the other is Nehru Minar. Okay, basically it is meant for checking the various parts of the dam, whether everything is going okay or not, right? But both these towers present a breathtaking views of the lake. If we get a chance to go there and to see the dam from there, it's lovely. And the dam regulates the water of the Mahanadi River, and it produces the hydroelectricity. The main purpose is, if it comes to write the purpose, what are the main purpose behind the construction of Hirakud Dam? The most important purpose behind it is to regulate the water of Mahanadi River. Second is to produce the hydroelectricity, generation of hydroelectricity. And one more thing, it controls the floods in the Mahanadi Delta region. And along with that, it provides irrigation. Suppose the water is provided through it for irrigation of 75,000 square kilometers of agricultural land. So these are the various purposes for what the Hirakud Dam has been constructed. Now I hope this much is very, very clear to you now. And this is all with this video. As I leave, before that, I want to remind you once again, do share the link of this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Bye.